title of this episode is "The Birthday Boys Go 0-3 at the Tank," and we named it that because we went to the Sharks game for Tyler's birthday back in October, and they lost. And then in January, we went to the Sharks game for Sam's birthday, and we lost. And then we went on this past Saturday, we went to the Sharks game for Vince's birthday, and we lost.
Sharks
So
fans are like, y'all mofos need to stop going to the game.
I know, right? No, it was they lost because they're terrible. It's not our fault. Okay. We all three of us, we ended up buying Macklin Celebrini jerseys too. I think
We
Tyler
did.
got his before the season started, but that was his, birthday present, so to speak. And you got one, and then I got one when we went to the tank this week too. So that's our background picture actually is all three of us in our Celebrini jerseys. So that's fun. Now for the how the actual week went. They started off with a dynamite win. Tyler got the win of the week correct in the shootout, 6-5 over Toronto.
He changed it afterwards. No, I'm just kidding.
Alex Wenberg got his 100th career goal in that game. He was stuck at 99 for like 33 games, so he was sitting there for a long time. Tyler Toffoli had two lamps and an apple. He had 7 shots on goal. He nearly had a third goal, but it hit off the post on an empty netter. He was your first star of the game that game. And in the shootout, you had the young Bucks, Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini, score on the shootout with some sick mitts. It was absolute clinic that those guys put on in the shootout in the skills competition. I like that I actually put the emojis in there instead of saying 2 goals and an assist. I put literally 2 lamps and an apple. That's fun for me. I'm gonna keep doing that. All right, so let's talk about
That Will Smith. I mean, it was like full speed
Mhm.
and then complete slow mo and just gently,
Yep.
fired it into that corner.
Yeah,
That was a great shot. Macklin
absolutely.
Celebrini's shot was really great. But Will Smith's speed, just
Mhm.
slow motion. It was
Yeah.
like he broke the goalie's ankles, dude.
Yeah. He wrecked them, man. So then the game that we went to on Saturday against the Rangers, that was a 6-1 demolishing. The only highlight is Cam Lund. He signed his entry level contract a few days ago, about a week ago or so.
And
He
he got
gets
his
his first
goal.
NHL goal. So that was that, and then they followed it up yesterday with an 8-1 loss against the Kings
Ay,
down
ay,
in
ay.
LA. Cam Lund gets his second career goal in that one. Also, Macklin Celebrini, it sounds like his car maybe got hit by the Rangers team bus on their way out. So I don't know what happened there, but Shang Peng was asking questions about it, and the Sharks had no comment. But it sounds like the rookie got his car dinged a bit, so that's unfortunate. There's your welcome to the NHL, huh? No,
Damn, by the bus.
rough. Yeah,
Jeez.
that's a rough way to go. Unfortunate. So upcoming games this week. They're at Anaheim on Tuesday. They come back home to play Edmonton on Thursday and Seattle on Saturday. So let's talk win of the week. You got a couple of good choices here, either at Anaheim or at home against Seattle. I'm gonna take the Seattle one because that's also gonna be like the fan appreciation day.
I like how your doc changed it to 4/5.
I know, yeah, that was weird. I hated that. Well,
You know
that
what? I'm
yeah.
gonna take I'll take Anaheim.
You'll take at Anaheim. All
I'll
right.
take Anaheim.
And we'll get Tyler's pick at some point here and add it in, or he can add it in himself. He's actually with getting Toronto correct. He's at 11 correct. Sam, you're at 10, so you
Yeah,
only
he's
got a couple
cheating
of
though.
weeks to make up.
He's cheating.
He's cheating. Yeah.
Editing the docs after we're done.
Yeah, and I'm toast. I'm not gonna catch it either of you guys, and that's okay. We're just having fun. We were trying to
Yeah,
find a way to have some fun because we knew there was gonna be a lot of L's this year. With that, I think there's a couple of just league notes at large. Um, Rough time for to be the great one, Wayne Gretzky, because you got records falling. Sid Crosby on Thursday secured his 80th point of the year, clinching his 20th season of averaging at least 1 point per game. That breaks Wayne Gretzky's prior record of 19 seasons of point per game production. Crosby is signed through the 2026-27 season, so he's gonna have a chance to extend that streak as well. He also missed a couple of games, so that's why he only had to get to 80 points instead of 82. He missed a couple of games earlier this year. So so congrats to Sid the kid, Sid the middle-aged man at this point. He's a um yeah, Papa G's going with the Ducks. And Alex Ovechkin is only 5 goals away from surpassing Wayne Gretzky. 4 to tie, 5 to beat him. I think Ovi's probably coming back next year, so I think that that record is falling. I don't think anybody expected it to fall this season, especially when he missed like 4 weeks with that ankle injury earlier with the leg injury. Excuse me,
Yeah, I
the low.
think we looked it up last week. I think he's still, like, 4th in the league in scoring or something.
He's still getting the job done. That Yeah, and he turns 40 later this year, I think. And it's just absolute crazy production from two elder statesmen of the league who are my age. So that's fun for me.
You know, as I have to say though, like, I'm kind of the newer guy getting into hockey and paying attention to it more and more.
Mhm,
Now that I'm getting more familiar with the league, I have to say, like, as a league, there are a ton of young, really good hockey
mhm.
players, like, across the league,
Yeah.
where, like, there's always really good young talent in the other in NBA and football. There's always good young talent. But I would have to say, like, as a bunch of young guys that are, like, superstars at their craft,
Hmm.
it's really exciting to watch. And then the Four Nations tournament to see how great that talent was on a super team. I know the US didn't win, but that was an amazing series. That's an amazing team. And Canada, they put out a great team. But all of the teams, the 4 teams were super fun to watch. Super talented hockey players and tons of young people. So as these guys who were once the young guns of hockey, now they transition to the sunsets of their careers. You know, there's a ton of young talent coming in, and it's fun. It's really fun to watch these guys get the records, but also see young guys like Celebrini and Will Smith and Eklund, you know, for the Sharks, you know, become stars in their own right.
Right. Yeah, 100% agree. Like, actually, they're running commercials now about like the next golden age of hockey is right now,
Yeah,
and they're not wrong. Like
yeah,
they recognize it, and they're really starting to make a push. And uh, the TV contract that they got, like they left NBC and went. This is the second year with being with Turner and ESPN, kind of doing what NBA has been doing for a while. Turner is losing the NBA as well, so they're going to be able to focus a lot more on hockey. They also have baseball as it is too, so there's that. But yeah, they're going to really be able to push hockey going forward, you know.
absolutely.
Marketing is a huge part of making these stars be stars, right? And the Sharks got Macklin Celebrini. He's a really young kid. He's going to be able to um you know, be marketed for a couple of decades. You hope he turns out like Sidney Crosby, you know, like if he's able to have the kind of
I
career
mean,
that Sid
anything
has, or even
close.
if he hits Jonathan Taves
I
territory,
mean,
that's a
anything
win, you
close.
know. And
Absolutely.
yeah. So like, obviously, we don't want to put that much pressure on him, but I think that pressure is coming whether he wants it or not, going forward. Like this is
I mean, just his draft position puts it there. You know,
yeah,
just by
yeah.
being in the draft position puts it there. So, um, it's it's fun to watch, man. Hockey's really, you know, if people aren't watching, hop on now because it's a lot of fun to watch. I know for the Sharks, they're not a very good record, but they got a ton of young talent, and you're probably looking at another first overall pick next season, and
Right.
probably Matthew Schaefer, the top defenseman coming out. So
Mhm.
there's going to be there's more talent on the way,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah, on the pipe,
It's
yeah, down the pipeline, here it comes, right?
yeah, here it
Yeah,
goes.
Yeah, open wide. Say, here comes the choo choo train. NHL time to gonna feed you their stars, and the Sharks are gonna be featured in those stars. So
Absolutely.
it's nice to know. It's gonna be a lot of fun going forward, and I'm excited for what the future brings. And I mean, we've been talking about it all season. We've that this season is gonna be a lot of losses, and it has been. Um, but the games have, for the most part, been watchable. Obviously, the last two games, and there was a couple of games earlier, but this 8-1 loss against the Kings, that hasn't been happening regularly this season. Last
Right.
season, that was happening a lot. They were allowing 6 or 7 goals often. This season, um, they're just they're not as good, but they're not quitting. The compete level is high. Yeah, it's just they're getting better, and it's not long. We're not long before really seeing it come together. So
I
it
know next year in closing for the Sharks, I know next year they're not gonna be a contender. I would not suspect that they
right.
would be contending for a Stanley Cup. I think we're
Yeah.
at least 2 years away.
Yeah. Yeah. Two
Um,
years, possibly three, but yeah.
right. I still want them I would still love for Mike Greer to go after some really good defensemen and add some depth. Like, I think next year, just from a franchise point, you gotta add some that's the thing that this team is really lacking
Mhm.
is that, Gorgiev, he he didn't play well. He's given up a lot of goals over the weekend. Um, we were there on Saturday night, Vince. You could the Sharks defenseman could not do anything to help their goalie. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta help him out a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah. He's
and he
already not
couldn't see
great.
nothing.
Yeah. He's
He
already
couldn't
not
see
the best
nothing.
goalie. So like you gotta help your tendy out when you can, guys.
Right. And, we know about the prospect, um, help me out with his name, with the Barracuda. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh,
The goalie,
Askarov. Yeah. Yeah.
Askarov.
Askarov. Yeah.
We think he's gonna be pretty damn good when he gets the full-time job. He got a little
Mhm.
banged up. He's recovering. But regardless, you still need quality defensemen, so I'm hoping the Sharks, Mike Greer, go out and get 2 defensemen that can really help this team. If you gotta overspend a little bit, you got the budget, you got the money, but this team, Celebrini, Will Smith, Eklund, they need to start winning some games. You can't go into year 3, year 4 thinking that all of a sudden we're gonna start winning games. Like, they need to learn how to win is what I'm getting at. You don't wanna do 2 years of just being losers. You
Right.
gotta
Yeah.
start getting some W's now.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the standings, the race to the bottom. So we're looking at that right now, and the Sharks are obviously they're in dead last. They're 49 points. Chicago's 51 points, so they're only one win away basically from where the Sharks are. They've played actually one more game and they have one more win, so that's where it is. They both have 44 losses and 9 overtime losses. Nashville is well ahead, and then Seattle, Buffalo, 68 points. Philly, Boston, a not so nice 69 points at this point of the season. And then Pittsburgh, 71 points. So those are your, bottom 8 teams. All 4 teams in the West are like the 4 worst teams right now as it stands. And then your 4 worst teams in the East are all better than the teams in the West. So that's just kind of as it happens to settle out. Like it's a little odd, little funny how that worked out that way. But yeah, so right now, obviously, you're in a race with Chicago for your number one overall draft pick in the draft lottery. Nashville, Seattle, Buffalo, they may be able to come in and swoop it. But yeah, yeah. So that's kind of where it stands. It's not the end of the world that Askarov is nursing an injury down at the Barracuda right now.
Right.
Because at this point, uh I'm always happy to get a win, but a loss is not the worst thing in the world at this point. Just keep it competitive. I don't like these 6-1, 8-1 losses.